have like an okay conversation, I think he'll generally be on board with that. He's not gonna like go crazy out of nowhere usually, unless he's talking to me.
Yeah.
But yeah. I didn't want to. I didn't want to retread too much. I read you.
Can I just ask you really quick? Are
Oh yeah.
we streaming right now? Is that?
Oh yeah. Shit. I'm sorry. I should need to say this.
Okay.
We are streaming. Yeah.
Oh,
I always
okay.
assume that when
I
I
didn't
call
know
somebody,
that.
I need to. Oh yeah.
I
So
kind of
all
thought
of your
we were like
secrets.
backstage or something.
No, my bad. You haven't said anything too disruptive. Don't worry. But sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, I am streaming. No personal information or anything crazy like that.
Okay.
What was I gonna say? I read you had one paper where I think you go through 6 different arguments about separating sex and gender. Are you familiar with the one?
The evaluating arguments for the sex gender distinction.
Yeah,
Yes.
you go through, but I think 5 of them I thought were pretty convincing. There was one that I didn't like too much, but I agree that a lot of the coming together on figuring out this on a lot of these things seems to be more rooted in like some kind of social good rather than actually getting to the truth of the matter on anything, which is kind of a weird way to investigate these issues. I think that's something you point out in that paper a few times. It's something that I notice as well, where if you ask somebody, you know, why should we draw a distinction between these two things, the answer will usually sometimes lie in some like moral claim that, well, it'd be better to do it because it makes people happy or something, right?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that? I was just a little distracted because I was thinking back to what I had said while I thought we weren't streaming.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
You're good. I'm sorry.
Sorry. I was a little distracted. Can you say it again?
Yeah, you're totally fine. Do you need a minute to collect yourself?
I think it was okay. Yeah. I mean, I think I said to you what I wanted to say if you had brought up that debate, namely, I'm happy that Bosch had agreed to do it, and I think it went well, and I think he was, professional and civil, and
Yeah.
so I don't really have anything bad to say about the guy.
Nope, I don't think you said anything bad, so you're good. Yeah.
I mean, I did notice that given what I've watched of his videos and what I learned in our conversation, I think we disagree about virtually everything. But I mean, I think it's nice that there are these forums online where people are still willing to have conversations, even with people who they disagree very, very deeply with. Okay, so yeah, I guess that's all I wanted to say about that. But now you wanted to ask about this paper that I wrote.
Yeah, or I guess actually before we dive into that, let's formally start. I'm curious. I just woke up like 20 minutes ago too, so sorry. How did you even find out about like the online debatosphere? Where did this come from? What was your like first introduction to it?
Well, I've done some like podcasts on some YouTube channels to talk about philosophy and usually Christian philosophy in particular. And then I think somebody had watched one of these things I did about gender stuff and recommended to the modern day debate team that I do a debate. And I shout out to this person. Wish I could shout this person out by name, but I don't know the person's name. But yeah, somebody like made the connection, and then I got an invitation from James. Yeah, and then I wasn't exactly sure what it was and whether I wanted to do that sort of thing. And so yeah, like I said, I watched some videos of Bosch and I watched that Deborah So video, and that convinced me, okay, I think we could probably have a civil conversation. And I noticed that some philosophers had been on this modern day debate channel, and that made me feel a little bit better about it. Michael Humer has done it. So yeah, then I decided to just give it a go and see how it went, and I think it went pretty well.
Is that something you think you want to? Well, actually, I was going to say, do you want to do more of that in the future? But I guess you're kind of here now, so.
Well, I think my understanding is this is kind of a different setting, and this isn't a debate so much as a
No, that's just what I say to.
conversation.
That's what I say to pull them in. Okay, I got all my Thunderlord debate Lord notes right
come
here.
the pyrotechnics, yeah.
Yeah, I actually have some old Facebook pictures that you posted 12 years ago. I wanted to ask you that. I'm just kidding. I'm messing
Oh
with you.
wow.
But okay,
No,
gotcha.
I got the impression, I don't know if this is right, but it sounded to me like you were a kind of pioneer in this space of online debating, especially in the Twitch sphere.
Yeah, I wouldn't say kind of. I would say absolutely. But yeah, I acknowledge
Okay.
and accept. Yeah.
And I think you have referred to yourself as a debate bro or part of this debate bro community, or maybe the debate bro.
The prototypical, I think. I used to be more so, but I have like different approaches now to where I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to do the ultimate. I'm trying to be more empathetic than I'm here to shit in your throat and destroy you or whatever kind of thing. Because I find that the empathetic thing tends to work better. Yeah.
That is the impression I had gotten. And so, that's why I was looking forward to talking with you about this.
Gotcha. I don't have super strong feelings about philosophically about a lot of the trans stuff. In terms of, especially when you start talking about anything related to metaphysics, especially because I don't even know what metaphysics is. And every time I try to read about it, it seems like nobody knows what metaphysics is or if it's even possible to do. So, so I'm going to be totally honest with you. My philosophy is very rusty. I'm not the best at this. And just because I know you have a formal background. So if I misuse any terms or if I say anything that doesn't make sense, it's probably not you being confused about something that I know that you don't. It's probably me just using a word completely incorrectly. So feel free to provide clarification or something for some thought that I have. Yeah,
no problem.
Just before we dive into the conversation too much, I'm curious on what do you think about this? I'm not attacking anything else. What is your perspective on the conversation you had about Aqua?
Yeah, so I've thought about that a lot. Mm-hmm. And I think what was going on there, I think a lot of people, when they watched that exchange about water, a lot of people were frustrated because they thought this wasn't really to the point and this is taking too long. And I mean, when I read the perspective of Vosh fans, I know that they were frustrated with me and they feel like I'm just not understanding. When I read perspectives on the other side, they feel the same way about Vosh. But I think what was happening, if you sort of have eyes to see what was happening in that bit of the debate, was it was a clash or a conflict between two very old views of the world, two very old views of the relationship between our minds and the world. And I think something I tell my students, this is kind of a crude lens you can use, but I think it's pretty useful to understand the history of philosophy. It's really just a conflict between like three views of the world, three ways of thinking about the relationship between our minds and the world. One of them, the one that I hold, is I would call supernaturalism. And on that view, ultimately, everything is explained in terms of a divine mind, the mind of God. So ultimately, all explanations bottom out with explanations in terms of the mind of God. That's supernaturalism, and it has a very old pedigree. I would put Plato and Aristotle in that category. It was dominant. It probably reached its zenith in like the Middle Ages, and it's been in decline since then. The stock has been in decline since then. Another view of the world is naturalism, according to which ultimately everything is explained in terms of fundamental physical particles and the laws that govern them. Mm-hmm. So at rock bottom, like everything that's true is made true by that physical stuff and the laws that govern it. So that's naturalism. And then just the last one, and this is the one that I think Vosh would be placed in, is what you might call postmodernism, but I know that word is used in many different ways by many different people and sometimes used as like a pejorative. But, and I don't think that's the best word for it because it makes it sound very new. Like, not only is it modern, it's postmodern. But this is actually a very old view, and it goes at least back to Protagoras, who said man is the measure of all things, of what is that it is, and of what is not that it is not. Like humans are somehow, we are responsible for making what's true true, and we make what's false false. And so on this view, everything ultimately is explained in terms of us, our creative activities, our thought, and our language. And so I think we could call this postmodernism or creative anti-realism. It's anti-realism because these people, when you ask them like, well, what is the world like independent of our minds? They say things that sometimes sound like they think there is no such thing. There is no world independent of our minds. There is no world outside language. Mm-hmm. Or if there is a world out there, It's literally indescribable. It's ineffable. As soon as you start describing it, you are imposing